Let's be real. Harry Potter isn't just some story. For an entire generation, it was everything. The books, the films, they created this massive global phenomenon that's still a huge deal today. So when HBO announced they were doing a full-on reboot of the whole saga, pretty much the entire world, Wizarding and Muggle alike, had the exact same question on their minds. Right? Why go back and retell a story that, for many of us, feels like it was told perfectly the first time? Is this even necessary? Who is this show actually for? Okay, let's really get into it. Because the answer HBO is betting on is a lot more interesting than you might think. And make no mistake, this isn't some quick cash grab or one-off holiday special. HBO is going all in. We're talking about a gigantic, decade-long commitment to bring this new vision to life. The stakes here? Yeah, they could not be higher. So first up, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what they're planning. Honestly, calling it a remake almost feels like an understatement. This thing is being built from the ground up to be a monumental project that redefines the entire Harry Potter saga for a whole new generation.
Just look at this timeline. Production is set to kick off in 2025 at the legendary Leavesden Studios. Yep, the same place the original films were made. The first season is slated to drop on Max in 2027. And get this, the plan is one full season for each of the 7 books. That means this show could be with us all the way through 2037. That is a true decade-long journey we're talking about.
Okay, so it's a huge commitment. We get it. But again, why do it? Well, according to the creators, it's all about fixing a fundamental storytelling problem that's been there from the very beginning, even in the books themselves. And this, right here, is the real heart of the whole project.
This slide really says it all. If you think about it, in the books, and because of that, in the films, we are almost completely locked into Harry's point of view. We see everything through his eyes, over his shoulder. The big promise of this new series is to break free from that constraint, to create a world that feels genuinely alive, a world that keeps going, even when Harry isn't in the room.
And you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from Lox Pratt, who's playing the new Draco Malfoy, gives us this amazing hint of what that actually means. He's saying we'll get to see the teachers in their private moments. We'll even get to see what life is like inside Malfoy Manor. It's about building out the world in a way that just wasn't possible when we were stuck inside Harry's head.
So the key idea here is what we're calling an expanded perspective. It means we're finally untethered from Harry. We can follow other characters, see other plot lines unfold, and get a much richer, more complete picture of the wizarding world. It makes every character feel more real because we get to see their lives outside of just their interactions with the main hero.
Now, let's get into the next big promise, which is something book fans have been dreaming about for years, a more faithful adaptation. We all know the films had to leave a ton of stuff on the cutting room floor, while this series is planning to pick it all back up.
To give you an idea of the kind of time they're working with, the first season alone is going to have 8 episodes. That's 8 hours just for the first book. The showrunner, Francesca Gardner, and director Mark Mylod say this gives them the space to really dig into the real depths of the story in a way the 2.5-hour movie just couldn't.
And all that extra runtime means we might finally get to see some of the most beloved and, frankly, important parts of the books that were cut. We're talking about Peeves the Poltergeist finally making an appearance, Hermione's passionate House Self-Rights campaign, Spew, the heartbreaking story of Winky, all the details of Voldemort's dark past, even Percy Weasley's painful fallout with his family. This is the stuff book lovers have been waiting decades to see.
But of course, it's not just about what's in the story. It's about how it looks and feels, right? The creative team is going to great lengths to build a completely new visual language for this series, one that can stand on its own, apart from the iconic films. So here's their game plan. The lead cinematographer, Adriano Goldman, who did incredible work on The Crown, spent a massive 18 weeks just in pre-production planning the look. He's aiming for a more vibrant color palette, moving away from the dark, grim tones of the later films. And get this, he wants to prioritize practical on-camera effects over CGI to make the magic feel tangible and real. All right, it's time. Let's talk about what everyone has been debating, discussing, and speculating about online. The cast. A whole new generation of actors is stepping into these legendary roles at Hogwarts. So here's a quick look at the new guard. We've got Dominic McClellan taking on Harry, Arabella Stanton as Hermione, and Alistair Stout as Ron. And they are joined by an absolutely killer lineup of veteran actors, including the legendary John Lithgow as Dumbledore, the brilliant Papa Essiedu as Snape, and the fantastic Nick Frost as our new Hagrid. And here's a little detail that I think the book purists are going to absolutely love. The series is committed to more book-accurate ages.
I mean, Alan Rickman was a legend, but he was in his mid-50s when he first played Snape, a character who was only 31 in the first book. Papa Esidu is 35, which is way closer to the character J.K. Rowling actually wrote.
Now, we have to acknowledge that this casting in particular has kicked up a lot of conversation online. On one hand, some fans have raised questions, pointing to the character's physical description in the source material. But on the other hand, many people are excited for a fresh take, and his fellow actors have already come out praising him as a brilliant choice for the role. I guess we'll just have to wait and see his performance redefine the Potions Master for ourselves.
So, after all that, we're back where we started. Is this whole reboot a necessary improvement, or just unnecessary? Let's bring it all together for the final verdict.
When you boil it all down, this new series is making 3 huge promises. Number 1, to give us a more complete world by finally breaking out of Harry's limited viewpoint. 2, to deliver a much more faithful adaptation that includes all the rich detail book lovers have been missing. And 3, to create a totally fresh and vibrant new look for the wizarding world.
So here's the bottom line. The potential here is absolutely enormous. This series genuinely has the opportunity to give us something that the original books and films, just by their nature, never could. But the ultimate question still hangs in the air. Will it actually live up to all these massive promises and become the definitive Harry Potter adaptation for a new generation? Or will it end up being just an unnecessary remake, forever stuck in the shadow of the originals? I guess only time will tell.